Wednesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. Hopefully, everyone had a fantastic Wednesday. We are back with another forecast update for your Wednesday evening going into your future. And, we're just going to go on and get straight started with this. It's already around 8:59. Just hit 8:59. You still have time if you're just joining us. Please hit the share button, the subscribe button, and the like button if you have not already. We are trying to get to 250 subscribers by September 26th, and I'm hoping that we can get there. Right now, we are at 209. Let's see if we can get to 210 or probably 211. Let's hope that we can get to 211 because with the path that we're on, we're going to have to get around 2 subscribers a day. So hopefully we can get to 211 by the end of tonight. Before 11:59, hopefully we will see what happens there. But here is our radar right here. Let's go on and get started. Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. Hopefully everyone had a fantastic Wednesday. I'm your host for South Carolina Weather, Jesse Peterson, and let's talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going to your future. Looking at the radar right now, we do have some showers going on actually over here just to the south of Florence, South Carolina. And you can see that, we had just a huge line of showers that was moving all the way from Manning, due kind of like north and west almost. Very scattered now, not really doing much, but still something that I would watch out for, just for a couple of downpours to come through. And let's check and see. Even though I think that these are all showers, I don't think that we're going to have to see any lightning. Yeah, no lightning is occurring with those storms, so I think that was expected. But here is our entire radar, the entire United States. We do have some rain up here, obviously, inside Canada, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as over here near Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. Places like Florida. Florida's receiving a bunch of rain right now, maybe some flooding conditions, as well as over here in the Gulf Coast. On the Gulf Coast, we do have some flooding conditions going on. The Northeast is also receiving not really much, actually. Same thing with the Mid-Atlantic. Not much. And the West is also looking really good as well. Definitely nice over there. Let's go on and check out our cloud cover. Cloud cover right now, not really doing much. Maybe just some light clouds up there near the upstate of South Carolina. Maybe some low clouds as well over there just to the south and east of Columbia, and to the north and west of, or to the west of Myrtle Beach, north of Charleston. All these clouds, I should say, are pretty low, pretty scattered, except for the ones up there in the upstate, pretty light. Here's our cloud cover total percentage. Just for like the next 18 or so hours as she pushes forward, cloud cover will completely take over the state as we get into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, it's just going to be covered with cloud cover. Not a single peak of sunshine in sight for tomorrow, most likely. Even though you do have that chance that you could potentially have just a tiny little peak, but right now, it's not really much. Not really much sunshine going into tomorrow, unless the models change. Here is our current temperature: 75 in Columbia, 77 in Charleston, 77 in Beaufort, 77 in Georgetown, 75 in Myrtle Beach. Same thing with Florence and Sumter, 71 in Rock Hill, 71 in Union, 71 in Anderson, 70 in Greenville, 75 in Augusta, as well as 77 in Walterboro as well. Here's our low temperatures for tonight: around 68 in Columbia, 68 in Moncks Corner, 68 in Orangeburg, 74 in Charleston, 69 in Walterboro, 73 in Hilton Head Island, 68 in Aiken, 69 inside Myrtle Beach, 68 inside Georgetown, 64 in Rock Hill, 64 in Spartanburg, same thing with Greenville, 66 in Anderson as well. Here's our forecast precipitation for the next 24 or so hours: around 100ths of an inch to 1/10 of an inch possible inside Charleston, going all the way up towards the Ridgeville, Somerville regions as well. Same thing with Georgetown, 100th of an inch to 1/10 of an inch possible through there, with the potential for 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch possible just to the south of Georgetown, and Hilton Head Island has that threat, with the chance for an isolated inch to happen somewhere just off the coast of Hilton Head Island as well. That's possible as well. So some very heavy rainfall can happen in localized areas near Hilton Head Island, up to an inch in some spots, but everywhere else is not going to be too bad. Here's our SPC outlook. This is today's forecast, tonight's forecast. Not much at all. In terms of thunderstorms, maybe just some isolated thunderstorms possible along the coastal region as you go into tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have a threat for some, not really, again, not bad thunderstorms, just TSTMs going along the coastal regions. And then as you go into your Friday as well, low country region, the PD region of South Carolina has a threat for some thunderstorms as we go into Friday as well. Here is our excessive rainfall outlook. Here is this right here. Not much except for just down there near Hilton Head Island where a marginal risk of excessive rainfall is possible there. And as we go into day 3, look at this Friday. A marginal risk of excessive rainfall is in effect for the Charleston, North Charleston, Mount Pleasant, Beaufort, as well as Hilton Head Island, Savannah. All these places up towards Augusta as well. So the entire low country of South Carolina, parts of the PD region, and parts of the Midlands. And as you go into day 4, nothing for Saturday and nothing for Sunday as well. So honestly, right now the only day that I'm watching for excessive rainfall is Friday. Here is our National Hurricane Center and Central Pacific Hurricane Center outlook. But before we do that, let's talk about the models real quick. So here's the models. We're going to go to the HRRR, and we're just going to see what the models have to show for the next day or two. So as we go into around 9 o'clock p.m. tonight, as we continue through, not really much except for just some shower activity going to like early in the morning hours, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, going into the Midlands of South Carolina, the upstate as well. And then even as we move to around 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning as well, showers will continue. And even as into the afternoon hours as well. And same thing going to around 11 o'clock p.m. Shower activity continues. Going into Friday, this is the day where potentially all that heavy rain could fall. And you can see some thunderstorms just to the west of us as we get into our Friday afternoon. So it's not really looking like much into the early morning hours of Friday. I think that if the models are correct, or if they're talking about rain and excessive rainfall on Friday, it will most likely be after the afternoon, like in the evening hours or whatnot. But we will continue to watch and see what happens. Again, this is just a marginal risk, so this is isolated flooding. Not everyone's going to get flooded, just a 5% risk, not anything that you really have to worry about unless you're in that 5% region. Here is the tropics right here. So let's go on and switch over to the 7-day outlook. You can see we have 4 yellows now. Let's talk about disturbance 1, which is up here. In the northwestern Atlantic, a non-tropical area of low pressure located a few hundred miles east of North Carolina is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The system could acquire some subtropical characteristics over the next few days while it moves north-northeastward, remaining offshore the northeastern United States. Additionally, information on the system can be found in high seas forecast issued by the National Weather Service. So a 10% chance of this thing forming in the next 48 hours, but only a 20% chance of forming during the next 7 days. Let's go and check out satellite imagery right here and see what this has to show. So here's satellite imagery right here. You can kind of see it right. That's the wrong one right here. Here's satellite imagery right here. You can see exactly just everything that's going on in terms of the Atlantic. And you can see right here that where my mouse is, this is kind of where it's happening. You can see, let me get my pen out right nice and fast. Here it is. So right here is where we're watching for that development to potentially happen as it's going to try and move northward or northeastward as well. Right now, it's kind of seeming like it's going towards generally eastward, but I'm going to assume that it's going to turn at some point. So that's that. Let's go and talk about disturbance 2. Here's disturbance 2 down here. So northwestern Caribbean Sea and southwestern Gulf of Mexico, a tropical wave moving quickly westward at about 20 miles an hour is producing a broad area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms across portions of the west central Caribbean Sea. Some development is possible in the next few days while the system moves over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. So a 0% chance of this thing forming in the next 48 hours, but a 30% chance in the next 7 days. And you can see right here, here it is, right here. You can see what this thing is doing as it is going to continue moving on westward. And it's going to get into this area right here, just to the west of the Yucatan and to the south of the Texas coastline, and it will try to develop here. Some models have it becoming a tropical storm and going up towards Texas and Louisiana, but we're still a bit too far out to talk about that right now. Talking about the next one, here's disturbance 3 over here. Another tropical, let me move this over here. Another tropical wave located several hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorm activity. Development of the system, if any, is expected to become slow to occur over the next couple of days, while it moves west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Environmental conditions are expected to become less favorable for additional development by the end of the week. 10% chance of this thing forming in the next 48 hours, but also a 10% chance for the next 7 days as well. And obviously it is right here. This area over here is producing shower and thunderstorm activity that they are watching for. And then moving on to number 4. Here's number 4, kind of like this huge area over here. Right now it says a broad area of low pressure over the eastern tropical Atlantic is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Some slow development of the system is possible during the next several days while it comes offshore, or while it drifts northwestward, I should say, instead. Now this thing, I believe, is actually right here. So honestly, right now, it's not really doing much in terms of just huge development. I do think that we're going to have to watch this right here. You see this heavy moisture coming off the coast of Africa right now. That's probably going to have to be something that we watch as well. So honestly, we're going to watch out for that. But we'll talk about more about that in the future. Let's go on and talk about the future. Now that we just brought it up. So over here, here's the southeast right here. As you push this forward, shower and thunderstorm activity will continue we'll try to take a break until we get to around like September the 6th, like late September the 6th, early September the 7th. Shower and thunderstorm activity will continue, maybe some heavy rain near the coastal regions. Then we'll get a nice break in between like September the 7th, September the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and then finally, maybe on the 13th, we may start to see some shower activity up there near the upstate. But continuing on the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, on the 17th as well, going into the 18th. Again, not really looking at much in terms of rain. Completely different than the models yesterday, and I know you guys can already see this. Just says major hurricane off the coast of Florida, but that's well over 300 hours, so not even worth talking about. But again, completely different than what the models were talking about yesterday. Models were saying that we would get some heavy rain, heavy possible flash flooding activities as we go through the next 300 or so hours, but obviously right now that's not the case. We can show on the next 7 days in terms of precipitation. Here you can see it. This is the Weather Prediction Center. We're going to go to 7 day. You can move straight down to the southeast, and you can see as we move through the next 7 days, this ends on Wednesday, September 11th at 8 o'clock p.m., where we have around maybe 1.1 inches possible in Charleston, 2.7 inches, I believe, in Savannah, maybe even half an inch possible in Columbia, Sumter, and Myrtle Beach as well. But again, not really much. Look up there in the upstate, around 100th of an inch is possible up there over the next 7 days. So honestly, not as much rain as we've been seeing, but definitely some very heavy rain, especially in portions of like Louisiana, coastal Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida as well. Has the potential of seeing of up to 3 to 4 inches of rain in Florida, maybe even 6 to 8 inches of rain off the coast of Louisiana, maybe even an isolated 11 inches is possible just off the coast of Louisiana as well. So hopefully They don't get it too bad over there, but that's pretty much it in terms of our forecast for tonight. Let's go and let's talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say. So moving in, here we go. Miss Oliver says, good evening. Day started off nice and ended up humid. Still hoping for cooler weather. Cooler weather is definitely on the way. You only have around, honestly, if I was to try and guess, let's see temperatures real quick, just to see what temperatures are talking about through the next couple of days or so. So we're starting off September the 7th, and I'm just trying to watch for just like low temperatures. I mean, some temperatures in the low 50s going into like September the 9th. That's in like 5 days. And then maybe high temperatures still remaining in around the high 80s. Then we get to the low 80s, and we start to get to the 70s and the low 80s and the 70s and the 80s. And honestly, I think that the high 80s are about to leave, and we might just be at the mid 80s soon. But I still would wait till until like constant cool weather. I would definitely say wait until like October, late October, maybe. But that's like constant cool weather. But honestly, it is definitely cooler than it has been. And we're done with the 100 degrees. I think I have talked about that. And we might be done with the 90s as well. We might be done with the 90s. Obviously, some spots that could still get up to 90 in some days. Then probably the next couple of days when they have their best shot. But in terms of like high temperatures, like in the 90s and stuff like that, I just don't see that plausible anymore. I'm not gonna rule it out or anything like that, but definitely I think that we are out of the 90s right now. Let's talk about all the other messages. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, weatherman. Good evening. Hold on. My cousin in Trail says, hi, Joseph, hello. And then Miss Tolliver says again, are we having a drought? A drought right now? No. Well, yes, in some spots, but it's really only up here in the upstate of South Carolina, far upstate near Oconee County, Pickens County, Anderson County, Abbeville County, as well as western Lawrence County, as well as northern McCormick County. Does have a D1 moderate drought, and that could expand. That could definitely expand, even though I don't think that it will spread, or I should say spread, yeah, as much as it did during the summer. The summer obviously was way hotter. It is still it is still pretty warm. It still is actually on the lower end of heat right now, but it is not as bad as it was in like I should say like late August, early August. Definitely not to that standard at all. And I do think that, like I said, we probably are cooling off. And this actually does update tomorrow. Yes, it does update 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So we will talk about this tomorrow evening. Not in the morning, but tomorrow evening we will talk about this. And let's go on and read all the other comments. You hear that Berkeley lecture? We are done with the 90 to 100 degree weather. Yes, I do think that we are done. You can tell them that. Send them a nice email or so. But yes, we are hopefully done. I know we're definitely done with the 100, but in terms of like low 90s, again, not ruled out, but 100, we are definitely done with 100. Definitely done with even the mid 90s. I could say even we're definitely done with that. So let's go on and do our San Antonio and Raleigh forecast, and then we will be out of here for tonight if we don't have any more comments, concerns, questions, or anything like that. Again, free to answer any questions that you have. If you have a question and you just want to ask it, but you're not sure if you could or not sure if you should or anything like that, you can always ask it. It doesn't even matter. Anything weather related, I should say, anything weather related, you can 100% go on and text it, or not text it, but chat it instead. But here is San Antonio's forecast for the next couple of days as you go through tonight. Probably did rain today. If it did not rain today, it was definitely scattered. But as you continue through, not really much until you get to around, honestly, to around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning when everything starts to clear up. And then maybe even some more shower activity as we get to around 3 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. Maybe even around 11, 12 o'clock in the morning tomorrow night as well. Nothing for Friday, it seems, either. And in terms of temperatures as well. And while we wait for the temperatures to load here, make sure if you have not hit the subscribe button or the like button yet, make sure that you do that. Also hit the share button if you can as well. I'm giving you free, like I say, I'm giving you free weather updates for you to hit 2 buttons. That's all I'm asking for you to do, is just to make an account, hit 2 buttons. It's free. You don't have to pay a single thing, and it helps me out. So again, just hit those 2 buttons, and that's all that I ask. Here's low temperatures for tonight. Low temperatures in San Antonio around 70. High temperatures tomorrow at around 82. Low temperatures tomorrow night at around 71. And then high temperatures going to around 83, 84-ish going into your Friday. Going into Raleigh, North Carolina, let's move on over here, talk about temperature-wise over here. Temperatures tonight seems to be around 64-ish. High temperatures tomorrow at around 76 maybe. Low temperatures tomorrow at around 63. High temperatures going to around 74, 75-ish going into your Friday. And then as you go into composite reflectivity, let's move this down over here. And then in terms of rain, not really much rain, actually, I should say, until you get to around maybe like the late after or the early afternoon, where you may have an isolated sprinkle or two go by. Not really much. And the same thing until you get to around 2 o'clock p.m. on Friday, where you have the threat for maybe some showers to pass by. So that's pretty much for that. Let's go and talk about severe weather real quick. So here is excessive rainfall right here. Let's zoom our way out. Seems like nothing for day 3 seems to be, but let's go to day 1. Day 1, nothing for day 1, nothing for day 2, nothing for day 3. We just checked that out. Nothing for day 4, and nothing for day 5. So you're good in terms of excessive rainfall, but in terms of severe weather, I would probably assume that you're good with that as well. Usually when you get severe weather, usually you also get excessive rainfall with it as well, or some sort of excessive rainfall, and right now it's not looking like anything either. So that's pretty much it in terms for tonight. I don't see any other comments inside the chat, anything like that. Let me refresh it real quick just to make sure. Not seeing anything else. We're still at 209. Again, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that like button is all I ask for you to do. And if that's all that we have in terms for tonight, then I think that I'm going to head out. So I will be back tomorrow morning with your Thursday forecast update.